Here we are again for the second of our two debates, the 2015 Oxford Summer Academy. So welcome to all of them. This is the fourth debate that I've introduced in my 2 years at the Academy as course director. In that time we've debated some very heavyweight stuff. My debut debate was this House believes that the terms Eastern and Western are no longer appropriate classifications to be used in international relations. We then moved from the public to the very personal, and I had an absorbing evening of heartfelt discussion in which I learned a lot about your generation when the proposition was this House believes that society puts too much emphasis on your appearance. A fortnight ago we hit the public domain again with this House believes that the positive consequences of globalisation for both developing and developed countries outweigh the negatives. Big stuff. It was a super night, wasn't it? So after the dust had settled and the opposition had narrowly defeated the excellent proponents, I turned to my colleague Nadine and I said, you know, it'd be really great if we could have one of those light-hearted debates. You know, sometimes they debate light-hearted things like, this House believes that a Kardashian should be queen. Or this House believes in Manolo Blahniks for everybody. Anyway, this was the light-hearted debate that we ended up with. As my daughter would say, well, that didn't happen. But apparently this is the fun one because Nadine, we could have had a debate on capital punishment. So this is the fun night. So here we are. We have this House believes that active euthanasia is justifiable in all contexts. Well, we're about to hear from these wonderful young people, beautifully turned out, and I do know what an amazing amount of thought and hard work has gone into the making of what you'll hear tonight. So it gives me very great pleasure to introduce this array of youthful oratorical talent. On the left, your left, their left. On your left, we have those for the motion. And I give you them in the order that they're going to speak. So when I say your name, could you stand up for the audience, please? And the first speaker tonight will be Clarissa. The second will be Giovanni. Fourth, Alba. Fifth, John. Bringing up the rear like all commanders, Veranda. So on the other side, I'm going to say left to right because I'm very confused. We have those speaking against the proposition. We have, first of all tonight, Omar. Alba will be speaking second. Archie. Felix. And we have Ricky. Finally, we have another female captain, Fatima. In each instance, there will be a 3-minute speech, first from one side, then from the other side. 3 minutes and 3 minutes only. When you have a minute to go, you will hear this sound. Okay? And you will know how long you've got at the end of your 3 minutes with this sound. That's the 3 minutes over, and I think it's up to Nadine from there. Nadine's going to talk to us in a minute. There are interruptions that Nadine might know with points of information, but you'll say a bit more about that in a moment. Now, it is my great pleasure, as always, to hand over to our moderator for the night, the man who has coached and coached the great performances you're about to witness. He's been a constant source of support to the two teams. I've seen him going between them, and very, very even-handed as always, ensuring each develops to the full strength. And I can't let the moment go without one football anecdote. The late Bill Shankly, the great Liverpool manager of Liverpool, and Arsenal were playing Manchester United, and the press said to him, who do you want to win? He said, I hope they both lose. As always, Nadine, I think you want both teams to win tonight, don't you? And I'm sure they will in many, many ways. There will be a winner overall, you will vote for that winner, and there's also going to be a prize for the best speaker, as there was last time as well, which will be adjudicated by the three of us over there. Anyway, if I can now hand over to a teacher of great experience at both A-level and the university, where he's lectured at three of the colleges of Oxford University: St Cross, Mansfield and Hertford College. He achieved his BA in Arabic in London at the School of Oriental and African Studies, or SOAS as we know it. Then he came here to Oxford to complete first an MPhil in Arabic and philosophy, and finally a DPhil in philosophy of the mind. It gives me great pleasure to hand over to our moderator for tonight, Dr. Nadeem Ahmed.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to, I believe, it's our 5th or 6th, is it? Do we know? I think it's probably our 6th OSA debate. I hope it will be another night of exhilarating debate, questioning, argumentation. I ask you as the audience to concentrate with your mind and I suppose prepare questions in your head as well about the sorts of issues that are going to be discussed tonight. Death is not a very easy topic. We were laughing and joking about death and thinking about how it is we could see the funny side of death. And I'm sure you can imagine that it's a topic that does have a dark, humorous side to it as well. It's a debate that I think has exhausted the powers, intellectual powers of both teams, because there's a lot that can be said on this topic. And so I think both teams deserve a particular round of applause because they have been working extremely hard on this topic. So I'd like to do that now. They have had a lot of other additional work to do for their other assignments and tutors, so this will really be a test of just how much effort they have put into this. The format for tonight will be that there will be a 15-minute rebuttal session at the end of the main speeches from both sides, which will give, I think, an opportunity for both teams to pick each other on individual topics and I suppose to question them. Both teams are also allowed to raise points of information by raising their hands. If they feel during a speech that a particular individual may have made a mistake of a factual nature, you may raise your hand and ask for a point of clarification or a point of information. And that will then be followed by a 15-minute session following the rebuttal for the audience to ask questions, that's yourselves. So if you could, I would ask you to sort of think very hard about questions which you think might be relevant and important and pertinent to the discussion. Following that session, we will ask both teams to leave, I suppose, temporarily, while we ourselves, the audience, will vote on the matter. And I ask you very carefully to pay attention to the type of argumentation that you're going to be listening to tonight. So in other words, you should award what you think is reward the team which you think has developed the best arguments, as opposed to, I suppose, deciding which way of the debate, which side of the debate, which moral side of the debate you feel comes closest to your own opinion. In a sense, looking for points of clever argumentation, rational argumentation, to award the team on that basis. So, does everybody understand that? That's what you're going to be looking at, I think. Okay, without any more delay, I would like the first speaker, Omar. Is it the other side? Sorry. The first speaker, Larissa, to begin the speaker. Thank you very much.